according to Aristotle. The reader who opens it as his Aristotle and expect to find a systematic disquisition on some philosophical subject or an orderly textbook of scientific instruction will be brought up short. Aristotle's treatises are not like that. So that's a bit of advice on how to read Aristotle. But reading the treatises is not a dull slog. Aristotle has a vigor which is the more attractive, the better it is known. And the treatises, which have none of the camouflage of Plato's dialogues, reveal their author's thoughts, or at least appear to do so in a direct and stark fashion. It is easy to imagine what you can It is easy to imagine that you can overhear Aristotle talking to himself. That's how we should read his work, as if he is talking to himself, and not a systematic disquisition on some philosophical or orderly textbook. Because what we have got mostly, according to this author, are lecture notes. And obviously Plato's language, because they are dialogues, the language is more stylish, etc. And language is used as a tool for persuasion because people are talking to each other, and so reveal their author thoughts, or at least appears in a direct and stark fashion. It is easy to imagine that you can overhear Aristotle talking to himself. Above all, Aristotle is tough, so you shouldn't take him approach him in a leisurely manner. You should be prepared. A good way of reading. So that's, I think, the important thing for us, an advice from someone who has spent a lot of time reading, writing on Aristotle, translating his work. So take up a treatise, a book of Aristotle. Think of it as a set of lecture notes, and imagine that you now have to lecture from them to other people. You must expand and illustrate the argument, and you must make the transitions clear. So you must fill in the blanks and things. You will probably decide to relegate certain paragraphs to footnotes, or reserve them for another time and another lecture. So you shouldn't try to understand everything. That's why I guess Ibn Sina had a problem, or Farabi, whoever was that who read Aristotle's Metaphysics for 40 times. And if you have any talent, at all as a lecturer, you will find that the jokes add themselves. Let it be admitted that Aristotle can not only be tough but also vexing in the sense that there might be fill in the blanks. What he's saying, there might be things you would wish that he had talked about. So you would have to fill in the blanks through your own imagination, in a sense. So whoever does he mean here? Also, whatever does he mean here? How on earth is this conclusion supposed to follow from these premises? So these sort of things you will come across, or will be asking, or potentially asking, why this sudden barrage of technical terms? One ancient critic claimed that he surrounds the difficulty of his subject with the obscurity of his language, and thus avoids refutation, producing darkness like a squid in order to make himself hard to capture. So that's not a way. Every reader will from time to time think Aristotle as a squid, but the moments of vexation are outnumbered by moments of elation. So according to this author, although there are difficulties, but there are also fruits. You will get, if you spend time, you will be rewarded. Aristotle treatises offer a peculiar challenge to their readers, and once you have taken up the challenge, you would not have the treatises in any other form. So you will say, yeah, that's how it should have been read. But from our perspective, really, what we need to do is to understand Aristotle historically, and the way it affected or influenced modernity and modern philosophy and philosophers. So, for example, he is very important in understanding Kant, for example. Or in understanding the reaction of Descartes or Locke, for example. And the second thing is we need to understand Aristotle in order to understand Islamic authors, Islamic philosophers, and Mutakallimin especially. Because Aristotle's philosophy had a huge influence on Muslim philosophers as well as Islamic ilm al-kalam. So we need to understand Aristotle historically as well. But that doesn't stop us from trying to understand him on his own terms, because there's always part of it. What we need to do is to develop our own capabilities, and authors like Aristotle and struggling with their thought can help us to develop our own imaginative, technical, inferential, dialogical, conceptual powers, etc., etc. Okay, so that's what I understand. So let's stop here. Subhanakallah, and next time we will start with the public figure. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.